For 20 years, Right to Play has empowered a generation to rise using the power of play. Each year, millions of children in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East are harmed by disease, displacement, poverty, and war. We harness the power of play to transform their lives. Through play-based learning, children become healthier, safer, stronger, bolder, and more resilient. We teach children how to protect themselves, ignite their potential to learn, and empower them to create a brighter future for themselves and their families. We keep children in school and out of work. We show them how to prevent disease. And we give girls confidence to challenge harmful traditions and practices. Together, we can empower the next generation to rise. Find out how you can help.
Good evening. I am Dag Skattum, the moderator for our panel this afternoon. As you just saw from our opening video, Right to Play is an incredible organization that uses play to protect, educate, and empower children around the world. As a long-term supporter and international board member, I have witnessed the impact play can have on the life of a child. I've traveled to Uganda, Tanzania, and Lebanon, and many other countries in which we operate, and have met the change makers who make up the staff, the volunteers, and most importantly, the children that Right to Play serves. The promise and possibilities that play has in a child's life and unlocks are truly limitless. And that's what we're here to celebrate and highlight today. I have some fantastic guests here to share with us this evening to discuss the work Right to Play is implementing. We're going to discuss how Right to Play is responding to COVID-19, which has been informed by the organization's experience with the Ebola outbreak in Liberia in 2014, which proved that play can indeed save lives. We'll begin with the Right to Play Mozambique's country director, Daina Mutindi, who's worked tirelessly to protect the safety and rights of children in Mozambique, and will detail how they produce TV lessons to reach even more children. We have long-term Right to Play supporter and the most decorated track and field athlete of all time, Allyson Felix, discussing her experience in seeing the power of play firsthand. And we'll talk with my fellow International Board of Directors member, Amadou Gallo, who serves as the Vice President of the NBA and Managing Director of Basketball Africa, and is the founder of the SEED Project, whose work in partnership with Right to Play we'll be discussing more on later. All these panelists have a passion for helping children overcome obstacles in their lives and protecting them from the many dangers they face day to day, particularly at this superbly difficult time for all of us, as we deal with the realities of the first pandemic in our lifetime. I want to start with Daina. Daina, do you mind introducing yourself and telling us how has COVID-19 affected the programming you are delivering in Mozambique? And what plans do you have to ensure you're able to reach the most vulnerable children, particularly girls?
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Daina Mutindi, and I'm the country director for Right to Play Mozambique. COVID-19 led to for the very first time, to the general school closure at national level in Mozambique. Children lost the opportunity to access school and then to stay at home as a preventive measure. In that situation, we had to be innovative and start thinking outside the box on how best we could access the children and make sure that they continue learning, not only for them to continue enjoying their right to education, but also to make sure that the children are safe and protected from the COVID-19 pandemic. What we did as Right to Play, responding to this situation, is that in partnership with the Ministry of Education, we contributed to the development of the National Action Plan for responding to COVID-19. In that context, the Ministry of Education launched the national TV lessons, which we call Teleschool. So the Teleschool program was programmed to support children learning remotely from grade 4 to grade 12. As you can see, it was leaving a gap for the early learners, that is from grade 1 to 3. And from our programs in Mozambique, this is our target group in the Gender Responsive Education and Transformation Program. So we had to do something and provided technical support to the Ministry of Education to develop a specific package for TV lessons for children from grade 1 to 3. This involved training of the teachers who were delivering the TV lessons on how best they can integrate the play-based learning approach in the TV lessons to make it more participatory. Also bringing the component of gender responsiveness to respond to both boys and girls who were accessing the lessons from home. But this program could not have its impact without mobilizing the parents and caregivers from home for them to support children to learn from home. So Right to Play was also responsible for driving the community mobilizations to make sure that children were accessing lessons through TV from home. So we played a very pivotal role, and we brought some of our teacher champions to come and orient the teachers that were delivering the TV lessons, which was part of coaching them on how to produce play content, which could make the TV lessons more attractive and more participatory for the children as they were learning remotely. This was very interesting, and they have allowed us, together with the Ministry of Education, to allow access to education for at least 1.2 million children from grade 1 to 3, which was high impact during a crisis situation, as we were supporting the main duty bearer, which is the government, on guaranteeing that children do not lose their right to education due to the crisis brought by COVID-19. This is what we do in terms of continued learning for children, but we also added one component of trying to make sure that children that are most vulnerable, especially girls, also enjoy their right to education. We made sure that the parents and caregivers were mobilized and encouraged to support girls to learn from. In our society in Mozambique, parents would support more the boy child, the detriment of the girl. So we produced, together with the National Network for Education for All, which we call MEPT, and also on the other side, working with the National Network for Elimination of Early Marriages, which we call SECAP. In these biggest networks, we produced TV video spots, which were played on the national TV, mobilizing parents for gender equality and equal support to boys and girls to learn from home, and to liberate the girl, not only from the domestic chaos that she spends most of her time doing, but to grant her time for her to study from home. So this is what we have greatly done in Mozambique, and we were able to replicate the Teleschool program from national level to provincial level, where we are producing the lessons in local language, supporting education for children remotely from home during the COVID-19 school closure.
Thank you, Daina, for that clarity. The information you shared is so vital to so many in Mozambique. It is crucial for Right to Play to continue to innovate to reach children during this time, where we're limited with how much we can actually collaborate in person together. I want to take us to Allyson next, but first, let's have a look at a video from her own trip to Right to Play's Mozambique program back in 2015.
Fraser Price and Felix, here are the two battling to the line, and Allyson Felix gets her goal.
Sport was so important to me when I was a kid. I feel like all my foundation was just taught through sport. Everything from work ethic, time management, dealing with defeats, getting back up, adversity, just so many important things I feel like that I continue to go back to.
Mira, Tarifa, Florida, Lidna, Esba, Allyson.
Present. I decided to become an athlete ambassador because for me it's just really important to be hands-on with projects that I'm involved in. And Right to Play right away gave me the opportunity to get in the field and just get involved. And to me, those are the most meaningful things you can be a part of. So Right to Play uses play to teach kids life lessons, everything from inclusion and relationships to sexual health, conflict resolution, all these things that are so important, but they break it down through these amazing games. Seeing the smiles on their faces, and they're here and they're eager, they're enthusiastic, and they want to learn.
Se envolvem até eles, quando paro de dar atividade de Right to Play, tento dar coisas que têm a ver com o programa, né, do ensino nacional. Eles às vezes reclamam.
Construir o país, construir o país. Vamos construir o país.
I think it's just shocking, you know, when you go into these parts of the world and you see the conditions and you see that not every kid has the opportunity to play. And it just hits you right in the heart because every kid should have that opportunity. Thank you, Dag, for that introduction. It's great to be here with you all tonight, and I'm always happy to discuss my trips to the field with Right to Play. I've had such amazing experiences visiting Right to Play Mozambique programs. The children and the staff were so welcoming and excited to host us, and I learned so much about their culture and the desire to learn that these children truly have. And the young girls there blew me away. Their eagerness and their joy to learn really stuck with me. You can see how these kids are just gaining confidence, they're gaining knowledge and skills. And I actually have spoken with children not just in Mozambique, but in Uganda, Rwanda, and Jordan about the changes they've seen in themselves and how Right to Play really helps them become better versions of themselves. Now, both of my parents are teachers, so I grew up with a real appreciation of the benefits of education. And not just from an academic standpoint, but from the perspective of really building a firm foundation for later in life through learning, socializing, play, and sport. Sport really gave me so much of my foundation: resilience, work ethic, time management, all of that. So I really know just how beneficial the whole cycle is for kids. And now I'm a mom, so these kind of values are what I want to instill in my daughter, Cameron. And as I say that, it makes me think of Amadou, of the SEED Project. Maybe you can introduce us to that program and how you've decided to come in and partner with Right to Play.
It's great to be here with everybody. We started SEED over 22 years ago as a now growth of my own story. I've discovered that sports and education combined could be an incredible tool for self-realization. And we endeavored to replicate the model. And today, with Africa's population being made up in large part of a very young population, we think that empowering this next generation of youth is going to be critical for the betterment of societies. Particularly with girls' education and empowerment is going to lead to better communities, as we've seen numerous times through our programs, that young ladies, when given the same opportunities as boys, a lot of time even excel. We are looking forward to partnering with Right to Play to leverage their methodology, which is play-based, to combine that with what we already do in the sports space, to identify community leaders as coaches that will drive girls' empowerment schools and to really highlight the skills which sports is going to bring about in terms of teaching them about leadership, self-reliance, how to be better communicators, how to learn to problem solve. We're also going to engage with parents and community leaders at large to have open conversations around gender equality, and just to, in the hope of creating a more harmonized society that is going to lead to the overall community development.
Thank you, Amadou, for the background and the information you shared. I know I speak for all of us in the Right to Play family when I say we are very excited to see the collaboration with the SEED project and all the great things we'll be able to accomplish together. Next, I want to go to a video about a Right to Play alumni named Zaida from Mozambique and show you how the tools she and her family learned in our program truly changed her life. Have a look.
mama yaga ndi funana awila mieteliwe ngwamie kana funoteliwa
bali mwana baliti bavenyabo abara bali kalana meka aga bali mukosela kota bali mwana du kosa davi ounua tinki ateliwe miefina divume ikana kwaya bali bana badasa peleka kwaya
mani ulova vomlo bana vele va bila gami para ila mieteliwe nami oraga atelwa kinafia tiene vele va pala ga kadile na kobi disunzege para ila medicale patakulu vaga mlo bana ro tela right page na gua non sunzia hiyo namuya naga nonala dikana yari podu zoga go escola kuzo escola ja direito não podu ila medicana yari não podu kadindo escola porque dikana yari tin kwalo escola ngami mana ni mani ja bideli no telu amedi venya vele valizo atitia di madla titia
vela patitia ado kuno watakulva go komsa rudu kosa odu nyanyuela atebaga di ruwana bagala o mana onda da vum merem ko sia davi om telian quanto antiano no ai mbali pame anna balo segeda maro ko diwa na ko sabala men wasin la twambira mpo bagago escola niko sa guruve na adneme kaga disivelwana yamfune mina tani mfuna na gorova na panga no adelwana mambali aga mio na ae duarte ndere
nampodu ko saga zilebu praila azwana morare like to play ono sunzia iyo jogo mas kampuna vile a jogo vuno kuna vina gwana yana aloge medi funo sunza nampodu mi hotel wa sedu zae.
As you saw on the video of Zaida is a true reflection of the situation in Mozambique, about the challenges that our girl child face for them to be able to access school. The implication here is that once a girl becomes pregnant, she automatically loses her right to education. So this was one of the most gender irresponsive policy of the government of Mozambique, and then working together, Right to Play in the National Network for Education for All. We participated in the national advocacy campaigns to repeal the Decree 39, which was banning pregnant girls from going to school. After publicly calling global attention to the issue, and after many years of hard work, I could explain to you that the Decree 39 was passed in 2003, and it went all along up to 2018. It took 15 years of not allowing pregnant girls to access school in a country where half of the girls become pregnant under the age of 18. So Right to Play worked immensely with the National Networks for Education for All, fighting to uphold their rights for the pregnant girls to access school. And after a lot of struggles, when we made the issue nationally, with a lot of campaigns and movements, and with a lot of involvement of the media nationally here and also internationally, I'm very happy to share with you that the Decree 39 was finally struck down in December 2018. I can assure you, it was a turning point in the history of the life of girls and women in Mozambique, as it restored the lost right to access to education for pregnant girls. The government policy did not consider that the girls who become pregnant under the age of 18 are actually victims of gender-based sexual violence. With this, we are partnering with schools, educators, we are partnering with the Ministry of Education, with the teachers, with the community-based organizations, with community leaders and other influential platforms to support and empower children to rise above adversity according to our mission. And we are making lasting, systematic changes in the lives of children in the area where we work. Thank you very much.
Thanks again, Daina, for giving us that important context about just how many obstacles girls are facing and about all the vital work you're doing to help. Amadou, I want to ask you as well if you have any success stories of young women that have made their way through the SEED project programming. And if you could speak about a few of those.
We are particularly very proud of our girls program at SEED, and we have many success stories, but for me, the two are outstanding, and especially because of the history. These were two of the young ladies from that group that literally, made sure that we started this girls program. They used to come watching the boys practice every day, and then one day they literally, came and expressed their interest in participating, and they had the passion and the desire to really, get involved the same way the boys were, and that's how we started it. Fatou Diagne, who just graduated from Purdue University, in the last AfroBasket, played for the Senegal national team, and now she's enrolled in a master's program and already doing a lot of work in the community in Chess, where she's from. I remember at the beginning of COVID, she called me, wanted to figure out how she could, try to get some resources to help her community. This is the type of leadership that we always envision, that this next generation of young Africans will be, will have that drive to really, start paying it forward. And she's already doing that at still a very young age. We're looking forward to, seeing her many contributions for years to come. The other young lady, Ramatoulaye C, just finishing universities, already a budding entrepreneur, having started a line of natural beauty product that she's already marketing and pushing, has her own brand, was also a part of that first group. In fact, she was the first young lady to get a scholarship out of the SEED Girls program to move to the US. So these are examples, and many, many more. And what I like is they have a very tight-knit community. In fact, I did a Zoom call with all the alumni. We have about 40 of them, and Fatou was the one who got everybody together, and we had a chance to just exchange and catch up. And I was amazed by just, the wide-ranging interests they have. Some are majoring in agribusiness, others in engineering, some want to be teachers. All these are professions that we are going to need in Africa in order to move our continent forward. We're very, very proud of our young ladies.
Those are some remarkable stories, and I hope we can see many more stories like this as you enter into partnership with Right to Play. Allyson, as the lone American on the panel, I wanted to ask you a bit more about your personal journey as a mother, which you've spoken about so openly and honestly, and how maybe that journey has informed your current views of maternal health in the US and in the country's Right to Play works.
I think about how blessed I was to have the access to quality health care when Cameron was born premature, and how fortunate I am that that was the case for me. I know that many women don't have that privilege, particularly Black women and women of color in this country, along with so many other complications we face when giving birth, and I'm passionate about doing what I can to help change that. And then I think of all the issues that women and girls are subjected to around the world. It makes me say, what else can I do to help these individuals lead a more fulfilling life? During COVID in particular, girls are less likely to continue schooling because they bear the burden of household work. And the financial strain during this time has left young girls even more susceptible to harmful cultural practices like female genital mutilation and early marriage. And that's why I've been glad to hear what Right to Play is doing to combat this. Lockdown was really challenging for me, but my team got creative and was able to help me find ways to keep training at a high intensity, keep pushing forward, and keep playing. Obviously, we had our Olympics pushed back by a year, and that was really difficult to accept, but I was able to stay active at home and keep working on different aspects of training and fitness. I know during this time period, a lot of kids that love going to school were feeling isolated. We all were. And Right to Play focused on the psychosocial support through television and radio lessons and other techniques to help kids maintain their progress and feel like they still had resources and people to go to if they needed help. Daina, I wonder if you could describe what Right to Play has done to offer children in Mozambique the psychosocial support they've needed during the lockdowns.
Thank you very much. I think you would agree with me that the COVID-19 pandemic brought the whole world into a panic. It is for the very first time at global level that all schools in the world were closed and all learning institutions. We can imagine how much stress that caused on the children who need to restore their hope that their life can still continue, that they'll still have their development opportunities, of which education is a key of what they should have for them to develop themselves, to build their future. So I would say, yes, the COVID-19 was a very huge threat to development. It made all the schools to close. It also made some children to lose their caregivers. We are talking about loss of caregivers through death. We are also talking about the cutting of the social distancing, separating children from their friends, from their teachers. Most children, they are so much connected with their educators, who are their teachers. And one important thing that we saw was very critical for psychosocial support for children during the COVID-19 was the engagement of parents and caregivers. It's Right to Play. We engaged with the parents and caregivers and made sure that they also supported the children from home. They also motivated the children to learn and show the children that you can still achieve your educational goals regardless of the COVID-19 challenge. So looking at that, in a very important note as well, if I can also continue sharing, we delivered a very critical and amazing teacher training program on psychosocial support in Mozambique, supporting the Ministry of Education, empowering the teachers with the skills to support children during hardships linked to COVID-19. So the teachers who were trained, they are able to identify children at risk. They are also able to identify children that are stressed and that are suffering some various types of trauma that are linked to COVID-19 and support them and link them to various services that will be supporting the children to overcome the adversity of COVID-19. Coordinating together with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, we have already developed a department for psychosocial support for children with technical staff that will be responsible for supporting children that will be aligned to receive psychosocial support due to various challenges. On teacher training, we are very happy because we have trained almost 1,200 teachers on psychosocial support. And these teachers are well prepared right now as the ministry is preparing for school reopening. These teachers will receive the children and able to take care of the children in the transition stage, coming out of the COVID-19 and restore them and support them with psychosocial support. Thank you very much.
I want to take a minute here to recognize Daina Mutindi for the phenomenal work you're doing in Mozambique. It's through the passion of people like you that Right to Play is able to change lives, and it's the reason why myself and so many other donors have supported this incredible organization for so long, and why we're excited to continue to do so. I also want to thank Allyson Felix for sharing her story with us. And Allyson, we can't wait to see you back on the track competing in Tokyo for gold next year. Our thanks as well to Amadou, Gallo, Fall. I'm excited for what lies ahead with Right to Play's partnership with the Seed Project in Senegal. We hope you enjoyed listening and learning with us today, and that you will continue to support Right to Play. Our donor support enables us to continue our mission to keep kids protected, educated, and empowered. Without your support, our programs wouldn't be possible, especially during this challenging time where we are required to rethink how to deliver our programs effectively and reach children in new ways. We need you now more than ever to help us make sure the 2.35 million children we reach on a daily basis are equipped with the tools needed to go back to school after this pandemic. So please visit righttoplayusa.org to donate or for more information, and contribute if you're able. We greatly appreciate you joining us this evening, and have a great evening.